a piece of me that was like, what if I don't cry? If that bookstore trip had a mantra, it would be, girl, go crazy. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This week we are doing a new releases reading week. I have so many books at home that I haven't been reading that I'm really excited to get to, and I feel like Bookstagram has just been popping off. I've been seeing a lot of books circulating that I feel very drawn towards. I just need a week to lock in and catch up, though it will probably take weeks and weeks, which is the best problem to have. It's not even a problem. Also, if you are new, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Hallie. I read mostly fantasy books, but I like to branch out occasionally, and I just go to the mountains and read, walk my dogs. Sometimes I post little side hobbies, but I'm so excited that you're here because most of all, I love to fangirl with people. That is like what I was put on this earth to do. I am a chronic rereader and I have been deep in my Shadowhunters nostalgia girl era, but I'm coming up for air because one of my most anticipated releases has come out, and that is the Thorn Queen by Sasha Peyton Smith. I was a little nervous because you know when you're so deep in one fandom and it's kind of hard to switch to another. So I started this and I was feeling hesitant. How is this going to go after reading 5 Shadowhunter books in a row? And there was nothing to worry about. I read 100 pages in one sitting. I'm going to give more reading updates and talk about what we could be reading this week, but I'm actually in the Barnes & Noble parking lot. So right now we're going to go in, browse, get some books, and then we will come back together for an update. That bookstore trip had a mantra, it would be, girl, go crazy. I got 4 books. I think they all have 5-star potential. I'm not sure which ones I'm gonna read for this video. I think I might have to make the new releases vlog into a series because there are just so many. First, we have American Fantasy by Emma Straub. I read her previous novel, This Time Tomorrow, last year and absolutely loved it. It was kind of reminiscent of an Emily Henry book, but leaning more towards lit fic. And this one is also a literary fiction. Our main character is 50 years old and recently divorced, and she goes on this cruise where the theme is her favorite boy band from the 90s. And from what I understand, this is an exploration of fangirling as a way to heal. Is there anything else to say? Next, I got Release Me by Tahira Mafi, which is the second book in a spin-off series that comes from the world of Shatter Me. And this is about James, who is Adam's little brother. Wait, is he also Warner's brother? Are they all related? Clearly I need a refresh. But book 1 in this was like candy. It was so fun. I had the best time reading it. I just binged it. So I'm going for those same vibes. And then I got Into the Blue by Emma Brodie. I don't know a thing about this except that I know it's made my Bookstagram friends cry. Multiple people have posted pictures of them sobbing while reading this, and that's really all that I needed. I love crying. It does say a love story on the front, so I'm guessing it's a romance book. Maybe literary fiction, romance blend. Don't listen to me, I actually have no idea. Last of all, I got Thistlemarsh by Maria Corrigan, and this is a historical fantasy that takes place in the early 1900s, featuring a crumbling manor and a fairy bargain. I hear those words and I'm like a dog whose ears are perking up. Crumbling Manor, fairy bargain. There are 3 more new releases I could read for this video, and I'm not going to go into the synopsises right now. I'm just going to show them. But The Geo Magician, This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. I'm actually halfway through this one. I think there's a rainbow on my face. I can feel it. And The Poet Empress, which I have very high expectations for this one. I'm going to walk my dogs, eat some dinner, all while listening to the audiobook, and then we will finally do an official Thorn Queen reading update. Queen update, it's finally time. This is a sequel and the final book in this duology, so I can't give away exact plot details, but if you haven't read the first book, which is The Rose Bargain, it was sold to me as The Cruel Prince meets The Selection, and I do think that that is the perfect way to say it. This is a lush, sparkling, girlhood, fairy type of book set in Victorian England. Every year when girls come of age, they go to the Fairy Queen and they make a bargain. And it's time for our main character, Ivy, to make her bargain. And she's feeling a lot of weight on her shoulders because she's the youngest daughter and her family's last chance to get out of ruin. And the reason they're in ruin is because Ivy's older sister, Lydia, had a weird situation with her bargain where she went missing for a while and nobody knows why. Lydia won't tell anyone, and Ivy's feeling like, if I can make a super good bargain, I can help my family. But then she goes to the queen, and the queen says, in addition to your bargains, I'll also be doing a marriage competition for my son. Chaos ensues. Bonds are formed, secrets are revealed. It's such an addicting book. The audiobook is also really good. It also ended on a huge cliffhanger, so I was so excited for this one to come out. I am 250 pages in because it's super bingeable. I read the first 100 pages in one sitting. This immediately went somewhere I didn't expect, in a good way and an emotional way, but it added a lot of depth to the world building, and I really think that's what Sasha Peyton Smith does as a writer. She grabs your hand and she says, let's go on a walk through hell. I'm gonna make you feel every single one of Ivy's emotions. And Ivy is so emotional. Youngest daughter, final boss. She feels it all, but not just the dark emotions. She's open to the magic of life, just full range of acceptance. She's always irritated with someone, which I think it's really refreshing to be in that kind of POV. It's reminiscent of the first book and the way that there's this sense of urgency and paranoia and angst, and yet there's this dreamlike quality to it where you're being haunted, but it's so beautiful. And I don't think I would want to be living Ivy's life, but I really like living through her. I don't say this lightly, but I think Emmett de Vere is similar to Will Herondale when it comes to being so tortured. And I have beef with him right now. I will not lie. I'm on chapter 22. I have 100 pages left. Let's see if we can finish this right now. So sweet. I don't know how I haven't made this connection before, but this story feels so much like Frozen. At least the magic and the sisterhood of it all. I really love Emmett's slutty little earring, and I love that we were reminded of it over and over again. This is a timeless duology that I would recommend to anyone in my life. I feel like it's sort of the springtime twin to the Shepherd King duology. Maybe it's just that they're both duologies, because I was also reminded of Rebel Witch while reading this. I just love a duology. Her writing really packs a punch while remaining so magical, and I feel like this quote summarizes it so well. I've been raised and trained all my life to be sweet and agreeable, but why would I want to be sweet? The only thing being sweet has ever done for me is make me easier to consume. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I can easily see it going up to a 4.5 or a 5. For some reason, I wasn't as gripped as I was with the first book, but I loved it. It was magical and it was so fun, and this is forever going to be a Holly Bush classic. I posted a bunch of new releases on Instagram and TikTok, and I said whichever one people tell me to read the most is the next one I will read for this video, and I have no idea which book it's going to be. So I have my journal and I'm gonna make tally marks. The options are The Poet Empress, Release Me, and Into the Blue. I think it will be one of those 3 based on the comments. Okay, Into the Blue again, the blue. Wait, why did I think it would be close? On Instagram, Into the Blue is winning, Poet Empress is in 2nd place, and Release Me is in last. As for TikTok, oh wow. Are you ready? Tied for 2nd, we have Release Me and The Poet Empress at 5 votes each, which means Into the Blue is in 1st place with 10 votes. All hail our stunning queen. It's funny because I have no idea what this is about, not even an inkling. And I don't think I want to know. I think I'm gonna go in blind. What are the odds that we have a Julia Whelan audiobook? A Girl Can Dream. Wait, it really is. Wait, my heart is pounding. I've been praying for days like these. Okay, well, I'm very happy and I'm gonna get on that. And next time we talk, I will have a reading update. I just got some clothes at Cotton On. I'm kind of having a laid back, chill day, sipping my matcha, driving around, listening to my audiobook. First I got this top. I put it on right away because I was so excited. And then I guess we're a lifestyle vlog for a second because I've never really done a clothes haul. But I got these tanks, this plum hoodie. I have one just like this already that I wear all the time, so I thought it would be great. And then they have the best jeans and shorts, especially if you're a tall girly. So I got these shorts. I know I will wear them a lot this summer. Into the Blue. I knew when it mentioned theater and fan fiction in the first few pages that I was gonna love it, and it made me laugh right away. I'm 116 pages in, so I can finally tell you what it's about. The story opens on the last night of a production that our main character AJ is doing with the mailman character Noah. And seemingly they have decided that once their production is over, their relationship is also over, and AJ is not feeling good about that. And then we jump back in time to when they were teenagers. At least she was a teenager. There's a definite age gap, but I'm not sure what exactly. I think she's like 16, 17, and he's 20 maybe. She works at a video store and she's a super fan of this show called Astronauticals, and Noah is actually the nephew of one of the leads in that show. So they have an immediate connection, even though she's a little bit scared to tell him how nerdy she is, but they have this twin soul kindred bond going on. This is definitely a book for nerds and people in fandom spaces. It doesn't quite cover the same hyperfixations that I have, which is more leaning towards books. Their nerding out is more about comedy and movies, but the feeling is the same. This writing is visceral. You are in it with AJ, and I don't know if it's the mix of the Julia Whelan audiobook and, what is her name? Emma Brodie's writing, but it kind of reminds me of Tom Lake a little bit, because that has this tortured actor throwback dual timeline situation. It also kind of reminds me of Great Big Beautiful Life in that way. The writing is so good that it puts you back into what it was like to be a teenager, and it also puts you into AJ's heart and soul in a way that feels very real. I already feel very vulnerable and raw towards the story. I think everyone can relate to that sort of ships in the night, passing someone in life that you deeply connect to, but it's also coming together through the lens of teen yearning. It's just so well done, and it's a beautiful tapestry of fiction and real pop culture and movie references. I'm on part 2 now. I am as sat as anyone could ever be. So glad I have this random pen in my car because this book begs to be annotated. The concept is just so cool. It's so meta because they're actors, so they have this acting relationship, but inside of their characters there's their interpersonal relationship, and it bleeds out through every pore, through every interaction. I have felt uneasy about a certain character and it's brewing, and I just have a bad feeling. Hello guys, it is Friday now. I have an hour and a half left in Into the Blue. I'm super nervous because I know things now, and I also know that everyone cries over this book. So I'm also gonna make soup. I figured that will be like a nice comforting thing to do while reading the trauma. hit the grief. It really hits the grief. There was a piece of me that was like, what if I don't cry? Not a concern. There's so much I don't want to say. Going in blind was an incredible experience that I would recommend so much. This book is a study on life and on what it means to be human, the devastation and the hope and the pain and every moment in between all of those things. I think it's rare to find an author who can make their stories feel that real. It just kind of cements the thought that every single person's story matters. Oh God, I'm gonna start crying again. How am I supposed to talk about this? I'm still so emotional. I think when a book takes a normal person and a real hardship that happens in our world and does it justice and makes it emotional and come to life like this, that is sacred and that's such a gift. I read a lot of fantasy and the emotions and the problems that happen in fantasy books translate well. It feels very authentic, but this kind of hit a new level of authenticity because it's our world and it's something that happens. Even though everyone might not be able to relate to the exact situation in this story, the way that grief is written is extremely relatable. I can't shrug it off. This is definitely going to stick with me for a while. I know I'm being vague about the plot. That's on purpose. What a way to end it. Whew, I'm still feeling so raw, but shout out to the bookstagram girls. I didn't regret a single moment. This was definitely a 5-star read for me. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I would love to hear if you have read either of these books, and I'd love to hear what you thought. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.